Hello everyone. So it turns out the 40-minute stream that I just did had the mic off the whole time. These are the things that you come to watch me do, which is screw up, frankly. Hey, it's my second stream. I can't be too hard on myself. I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm happy that it's working apart from human error, which is just not clicking a little button, frankly. So, my fault. Right, we are here to build a website. And, you know, I'm not going to go over all the stuff that I just did over the last 40 minutes because it's done now. Frankly, I probably spoke quite a lot. So what I'm actually going to do is just catch you up really quickly on everything, super quickly, and then dive back into a little bit more for the next 30 minutes. And then I've probably got to go eat, I imagine, and let you all go and eat. So welcome to the second stream. As I said in the last video, but nobody heard it, let's just dive straight back in, shall we? What I'm doing here, just let you know, is building a project. I'm building a brand and a website for a project that's been running for about 10 years now. And we realized actually it's 10 years on the 16th of next month exactly since our very first event. I should probably do a little celebration of that. So I'm going to go and text some of the very first people that came along to the very first event, as I think that would be quite lovely. But what I'm trying to do is spin out that 10-year thing that accidentally got quite big before COVID, and then turn that into a project in of itself, a project with its own brand, its own identity, and its own digital presence. And so that's going to take the form of a brand and a website. And that's what I'm going to show you that I've been working on over the last video, which is about an hour long, where the mic was working, which is great, and this video, and the last video where it wasn't, and obviously this video where hopefully I can recap on what I've just done and do a little bit more too. So let me just show you very quickly where we are at. So we've created a rough kind of navigation of what the homepage will look like, right? So this is kind of a guide that I'm going to be using to build something to. I don't really need this up in the background here, but it's been very helpful for me to see, you know, what does this look like as it relates to the website. And actually it will become quite handy right now because what we're going to dive into next is color schemes for the website. Now, as you can see here, I need to get rid of this one because this one's not up to date. We've changed the typeface, which if you compare it to the last video with no audio, had a different typeface there. We've also changed this typeface so that they're quite contrasting, but they feel quite nice, to me at least, together. And that's one of the core pieces that we needed to change for the website because it changes everything else. As you can see here, it starts to change the attitude of everything, and that's the important thing for me, something that looks and feels about right. Now all the rest of this content is provided from the theme that we bought and installed and are now using. But the next thing is to give this more of our own identity. So color is probably going to come next, right? So let me just pick up, as I say, where I left off completely. Let's dive straight back in. Let me get rid of that one and jump into the back end and the accent colors. Now, I don't know if chat is working. The only way I found out about the microphone is that people were texting me instead. If chat is working, send something. I'd love to see it. You should be able to. I think it's open for everyone. And if you have put something in chat and I'm not responding to it or seeing it, do text me. For those who are watching it, who probably already have my number, and let me know because I want to be able to know that I can't see it. And I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you. So yeah, what do we need to change next? Well, let's just keep this instance of the homepage open so that we can see the aspects that we're going to be changing. And you can see the extra color one is probably the color that is over here. It's probably the background of this, perhaps. It's probably the overlay on that because they're all that kind of green color. So I might want red as the accent color, or I might want it as the core color. And what I mean by that is like this whole red that we've got down here could probably be quite overwhelming. I think this is coming up as maybe a little bit darker for you than it is on my screen as a true color, or vice versa. It might be truer for you than it is for me because of the way my eyes and brightness settings are set up here. But it's quite a stark red. Now, if you've got that as the full coverage on the home page, it might be quite intense. So what I might do is I might pair that with kind of a black overlay. And I don't know what this is reminding me of, this whole red and black. I think last time I said Street Fighter, which feels kind of, yeah, it feels kind of right. But let's have a look at this. So what we would really want to do is we want to go, okay, well, let's change this to black then. And maybe the accent color is the same as this red. So let's find out what this red is again by checking this color overlay. And that's going to be that color there. We go, I could have just color dropped it. Again, there's probably a shortcut in here that people will spam me about afterwards, but this is the way I do it for now. So I'm sorry. So let's do that. And let's just refresh this, right? We've changed a few colors. Let's refresh this. Actually, let's just go and create another one so we can see the comparison. Did we save that? I don't know if we saved that. Did we save any of those changes? Because it's not changed at all. Unless each of those sections are individually covered, which is very possible. And it looks like that might be the case, which is pretty wild if so. Because the background being white should be changing. Right, that's fine. We go through challenges like this. Let's investigate, right? Hey, the chat is working. Hey, Marianne. Thank you for putting a little smiley in there just to let me know that it's working. Awesome. So we are actually set up, and yeah, we've got a little bit of audio now, which is good. So thank you. Right. Okay. Yeah, we can see where these colors are being drawn from. So there's, as you can see here, as we saw at the start of the last video, without audio, the color schemes here and everything that we see on the front end, i.e. the website's shop window, as it were, is relating to things on the back end. So this is a green here, and it's not surprising that that is probably the green that relates to that. This is a beigey, creamy colored here, and it's almost certainly exactly the same color as that. Same here for achieve your goals section, and that's also that color. And so the situation repeats all the way down. Therefore, if we want to change that green that's overlaying that image, we probably want to look here as to where that color is coming from. Aha, there it is. So if we change that to the red that we've been looking at and save that and preview it, what happens, I wonder? Oh, nothing. Okay, so that's clearly not what's changing things. Right, let's have a look a little bit more. Color overlay. Aha! This is all trial and error, guys, right? This is how I learned. This is how everyone learns. It's just by getting things wrong and amending them. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's a very heavy. Let's maybe go heavy, because I can see there's a cool image in the background of that. Although we actually already said that we wanted to change it to black, but let's just preview it so that we can see that we've done that correctly. There we go. Cool. So we have. That's awesome. And there's a video background, which is quite nice. I really quite like that video background. But you know what would be nice at some point? It would be nice for us to have like our own video from our own event in the background of that, you know, a time lapse of people meeting and networking. I've actually got a bunch of that somewhere on my laptop, on a hard drive, one of these chunky boys here somewhere. I almost whipped myself in the face with that. Yeah, I've got some of that somewhere. So it'd be great to have, you know, some of the vents showing up in the background. And again, this is a feature of that theme that I explained that you couldn't hear last time. A feature of the theme that we bought, installed, and used. It's such a great thing that we can spend a small amount of money, relatively speaking, and shortcut a lot of development. This video in the background will almost certainly be able to be found in here somewhere too. So if we go into the settings of that row in particular, sorry, I just clicked that and you're not seeing it. Sweet. Into the settings of that row somewhere, and we go to the background. It's a background image. Video background is switched on. and there's a video URL from YouTube. So I do wonder if I can have myself speaking in the background of a video about myself, which would be really weird. But what I really want to do is kind of have a video of our events, right? Maybe just, you know, like a show reel of things that have happened that we've done in the past, which we can do, which we can absolutely do. And that's amazing that we can, we have that functionality. So that's awesome. And yeah, so we can save those changes. We've previewed those. It's red, but as I was saying, red feels quite intense, and it's probably quite off-putting as a primary color on the whole page. So let me just give us some audio on the website then. I've no idea why there was audio on the website, but there was audio. So let's come back into here and let's change the color overlay to black, because I think that might be better, right? It's not going to be as intense for people. And then we can use the red in the copy that people might prefer to see. So as we can see here, that's quite cool. Okay, fine. And then what we've also got is this kind of red background now when it loads up, which isn't what I wanted. So we can go black here, and then if we click that and it loads again, great. Okay, awesome. So that's how that looks right now. Then we can see that the copy is still kind of that cream color. So we want to know where that cream color is coming from, and it's probably somewhere in here. So let's have a look. Text color, font color is not customized. Maybe it's in here. Highlight color, text color. Okay, fine. If we set that to white, and we also, I presume the other one, because that doesn't have, yeah, this will be white already. So let's click that and click preview. Don't want to worry about that menu right now. Okay, nice. We're getting a little closer to the sort of vibe that we want to give off, right? Now, one way to make this website feel like our own is going to be to change the logo. What you see when you have a website is you have the logo in the top corner usually, right? It's where you naturally go to click. People don't have home links in their navigation anymore because no one goes to the home link to go home. They just click the logo. We all know you click the logo, you go home. So, you know, at the moment it just says, as you can see here, it just says Rebel Meetups. But what we want to have is we want to have the logo. Now, we've not really finished with the branding, so let's park this for now, right? What we've got is a website that is coming on slowly. We've got the principles that show us how we can change the main copy. We can change the color schemes in the backgrounds, and maybe next time now, I probably would have got to it if I hadn't screwed up the first stream, but maybe next time we'll start to get to changing some of the layout. What I might do is I might change some of the layout in the meantime, and then I can finish off some of the layout with you guys next time. And then, you know, within 3 videos and under 4 or 5 hours, maybe get this website completely live. If you want to see what this website looks like right now, it is being built live. You can go to rebelmeetups.com and you can see it. That's where it lives. You can see how broken it is. Please don't spam me saying, hey, your website's not finished yet, because that's the whole point. You're here to watch me do that. But if we lock in these changes, because I can see that it's not locked in here, let's click, get out of here. Then that's now been updated. Let's go to view the page, and we should be able to see that it's completed. But what we want to do is we want to really kind of get to the point where the branding is ready, and hopefully the last thing we can do on the website before I let you go today is update the logo so it starts to feel a little bit like our own. Now, I don't know, again, if I'm super happy with the way this looks. So let's create a slightly bigger canvas here. Let's go down a little bit and create some different instances of this. Let's pop this in there. Let's pop that in there. And let's just focus on this for now. Okay. Oh, no. Right, what we want to do is we want to experiment with these. So let's take one of these here. Let's take another. Oh, let's take another one of these here. I mean, that's kind of cool having that transparency. But again, legibility is something that we were thinking about last time. Look, I am bouncing backwards and forwards between things, but that's just how my brain works, and I apologize for it. Just going to say and reply to you there in the chat. Okay, cool. So let's, yeah, let's take this and play around with it, right? So let's make this a 2. So let's say this is Alt and this is Alt 2. Again, remember, it's very good practice to name your files correctly. So let's merge these together, rasterize it and merge the layers. Now what we can do is we can warp it like we were looking at last time. Let's jump in here and let's just play around with how this might feel. I'm wondering if we can add a bigger grid to this. There we go. Yeah, we can. Okay. Whoa, that's quite intense, isn't it? Okay. Maybe a 4x4 grid might be a bit. Whoa, okay. So what you can see here is I'm playing around with the way that the fonts work with each other, just to make them feel a little bit more customized. Now I might not actually keep any of this, frankly. It might be surplus to requirements, really, but it's just fun to try and carve out your own style somehow, and figure out, you know, what does that really look like. In comparison to everything else. See, that's played around with it a lot, but it's made the text quite skinny. So I think what we're probably doing here is we're probably overdoing it, right? And the whole point of this is to get these things ready quickly. So let's take that one as well, and let's delete that one too. Let's go back to this one. We'll make this a completely normal, and we will make the font face white, even though that didn't work. Okay, let's make that completely white. Cool. Let's crop. Oh god. Let's trim. I think I can never remember the shortcut for trim. Is there a shortcut for trim? There should be. Oh, I didn't trim it because of that. Cool, that's fine. Okay. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Sorry guys for the silence. Right, okay, so we are now trimming to the transparent pixels and we have a logo. So let's go save this as download Rebel Meetups logo PSD, so that we've got the Photoshop version available, and then we've got this as Rebel Meetups logo black. as a PNG file. Save. The reason I'm saving it as PNG is a bigger file type, but it's, as far as I'm aware, less compressed than a JPEG. So it should show up cleaner on all devices. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I am here to be corrected if I'm wrong by the pros in the process. But if there's a better way of doing that, then let me know. Also, if there's a better way of saving as a PNG automatically, please let me know. It really bugs me having to do this every time, and I'm fairly sure I'm wasting a lot of time by doing this. But there we go. So we've got a white version, a black version, and the Photoshop version of the file. Don't have to save that. Let's go back to here. So, no, that's the wrong one. Let's go back to here. So what we want to do before we really wrap up is we want to have our logo in the back here, right? That's really what we want. Just so that we know we're getting somewhere and so that people know they're in the right place and we know that people feel like there's a bit of attitude there. So what we want to do is find out where that logo is managed, and it's probably going to be in the salient settings. Probably going to be either in the general settings or the header navigation, because that's where it is, right? It's in the header section. It's at the top. So if we scroll through styling, no. Functionality, nothing in there about logo, nothing in there about logo. So let's go to header navigation, logo and general styling. There we go. Use an image for the logo. As we can see at the moment, it's type and it looks like it's written. That makes total sense. We can tell it's written because we can highlight each of the letters. We want to use an image. We just saved an image. We want to use an image. So let's upload the logo to here. And we want to do that with probably the white one, right, at the moment, because it's on a black background. So that's what we want to do. So if we select that, cool. 2 times the size of your standard logo. Well, that logo I've just created is actually massive anyway. Talking earlier about the size of the logo being really important, or size of images being really important to keep the load of time of your website down, you want it to be a little bit smaller. So let me just remove that one. Let me go back to Photoshop. Let me open the file that we opened before. So let's just go to here. Let's color that white again as we did before. White there. And let's make the image, I can never remember how to do image, there we go, half the size. So let's say 600 width. Now it's still going to be a big file, right? But it's gone down from 2 megabytes down to 500. In fact, let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's take it down to 250 KB rather than MB. And let's save that again. And we'll save that as Rover Meetups logo white. And we'll save it as small. So we have a small version of the website as well. We do want to use the PNG. I need to check that that actually saved as a... Yes, it did. Cool. Okay, so let's move that back into there. And let's upload the smaller version of that logo as well. And what this should do is it should allow us to maintain load time speeds as fast as possible for the website, whilst also having a version, oh, why didn't that save properly? Whilst also having a version for big screens, if you have a really big screen. So let's say that, I want to save that as a PNG. I think that might have been where things went wrong. Replace, okay, close, upload files, select, uploading, there it worked that time. And in the interest of keeping things clean and tidy again, let's delete the one that we didn't use. Cool, that's the one we want to use. Let's select that. That one should be half the size of that one. That one should be twice the size, right? As we spoke about. But we also want to define a height of the logo on most screens. So let's say that it's saying 30, so I'm assuming 30 is fairly normal. Let's say 35, just for the sake of it, because I like to be a contrarian. And mobile logo height is obviously going to be smaller. I don't want it to be too big on logos, so let's say 24. Let's stick with what they've got. Actually, let's say 20 is a round figure. That's what they're saying. Mobile only logo upload. You can have a version of the logo that's specific to your logo, to your mobile, if you want it to be slightly different. You know, if you're, I don't know, if you're Adidas, you might want to have the whole logo on your website. But if you're on a mobile where there's a lot smaller space, you might just have the 3 stripes. Just as one of many different examples. Same with Apple. Oh no, Apple's pretty much just an Apple icon now, isn't it? Interesting. Okay, so that's where we're at. Header box shadow. Let's not worry about that right now. But let's save that. And I do remember from using this before that there might actually be another area where, yes, so this is probably going to be asking for, this will be used when, okay, header starting logo upload. So we want this one as a starting logo. And this is if we use a transparent header effect. So when we're scrolling down the page, how is that going to act with the extra pages? And that's pretty much with the extra sections on the page. So that's pretty much what we want to have happen. Just to explain that a little bit better, because I've explained that poorly there. As you scroll down the page, the background color changes. And what we want it to do is do what it's doing there, right? We want it to go from light on a dark background to dark on a light background. And then as it changes again, change again. As you can see here, that's wrong because the logo is actually on that section for some reason is set incorrectly so that it's showing as light on a light background and it blends in. But yeah, so that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that's right. So let's just follow the rules here. Header starting logo upload on mobile only. Well, we know that that's the one we want. Or header starting dark upload when the header transparent is active and the dark color is expected. This will be the black logo that we designed as well. All right, so this is the dark version. Let's click that. Cool. And then let's just click the same one. We don't want to, well, we should worry about a second version, but in the interest of time and trying not to bore you, let's keep that for now. The logo starting color should be that. Oh, this is if we use text, but let's just keep that for now. And then let's do that. And permanent, transparent. Cool. Let's save. Okay. Yes, I know that. Can you? Thank you. Let's save. Says saved. So let's refresh this page and let's see what happens. And hopefully, there we go. So in the logo general styling, logo height is 35. Let's change that to 60. Let's go big or go home, right? And then let's change that to 30 because it might also be quite tiny on mobile too. And then let's refresh that. Boom. That's what we want. So now we've got the font up here. We've got the same font here, which is a question that we should be asking ourselves. Are we okay with it being two types of the same font, or do we want another hierarchical kind of typeface? Do we want this and then a secondary header typeface and then the body type? Maybe that's a question to be asked. Maybe this is a bit too much. And then we should be kind of taking that further down the page. How do we, start to translate all of this style, all of this thinking down to the rest of the page? Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing next. I'll probably do a little bit in between now and when I speak to you guys next. The mic will be working next time. I'm sure that once you do it once, you probably don't do it again. And I did it once already. But hey, easier and better to do it the second time than it is to do it for the 100th time, I guess. And then it would be really awkward. But yeah, that's where we're at. So what we've done so far, just to recap, is we have created... Where am I? Here I am. I have created the grounding of the website, basically. These are the little fiddly bits that are really annoying if you get them wrong and you don't get them right at the start. It feels like we've not really done much with the hour, but what we have done is we've done some really foundational work. It's the sort of stuff that I don't have to worry about now for the rest of the website, really. We've got the typefaces confirmed, quite like those. We can play about with them eventually, but if we change a lot, and then we change the typefaces, then things might get out of kilter and like the website might look slightly different to the way that it currently appears because we weren't prepared for how the type would change the way that the website looks. So change the typeface, change the color schemes, and then as we start to create things, it's easier for us to play around with the layout because we already know how it should look. So yeah, so that's where we're at. We've kind of confirmed what we want the logo to look like, which we've got right here, as you can see. We've got the website started, and it will just need populating now with some images and some stuff. We've got a little version of a content hierarchy and I guess a contents page, and we can start to see how this starts to marry up. We've got the logo there, we've got the big statement there. There will be buttons that we'll need to add here, so we'll probably look at that next time. There's a map of events, maybe that should go next, but that might go there, that might go there. It might be a bigger section here. These won't necessarily be relevant, so we could probably delete those. This is quite nice, so we might be able to think about something here. Frankly, we should be getting sponsors for these events, so maybe this is where our sponsors go. Couldn't do it without these guys. Our sponsors help us keep these events free. Here are their logos. Maybe that's what we should be doing there. Maybe there's a video of the events here. Maybe this is a testimonial section. Maybe that's where we do that. Oh no, this is the testimonial section right here. So maybe we move that up the page. And then we've got our buttons. This is buying stuff, but then we've also got other stuff down here. So yeah, so that's where we're at. It's now 7:05 in the evening. Someone asked about my jumper. Here it is. It's a Pokemon. It's Pikachu. My name is Ash. You can do the maths. I did explain that before, but the mic wasn't on, so you didn't hear it. That's everything for now. I think it's probably dinner time. I'm probably going to go and stop staring at screens. I'm probably going to go and shout at myself for not turning the microphone on. And I'm probably going to go and figure out when I'm going to run the next one, which will hopefully be some point later this week, because I need this website live as soon as possible, really. Thank you for joining me, if you have joined me. I think more people joined me for the first one with no audio than joined me for this one. But thank you regardless, and I hope maybe I've said something that's been of value to you for the last hour or so. Yeah, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. The next video will be live very soon. If you want more from me, you can go and check out the recorded videos that I've already done. If you want to know where we started with this, go and check out the first live stream. Give that a watch. Hopefully there was some good content in there, and the mic worked the whole time, which was great. And don't forget to, of course, please like, subscribe. Really helps the channel out and helps to beat the really elusive YouTube algorithm. The last video actually brought me 3 new subscribers, which is not a huge number in the grand scheme of massive YouTubers, but I had 28 before or 29 before, so it's like a 10% growth rate. Maybe we get a couple of subscribers from this one if you made it this far. I don't know if you did, but thank you so much again for joining me, and have a good evening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.